They don't fear your fists, they fear your focus. Because a man with focus is a man they cannot predict. And when they can't predict you, they can't control you. The truth is simple and brutal. They don't want you thinking. They want you reacting. Because reactions can be read, and whatever can be read can be rewritten by them. This system doesn't just distract you, it conditions you to bark on command, to sit when told, to obey, smile, post, perform. You're being trained, not educated, and you've been too asleep to notice. This video isn't for the tamed, it isn't for the broken, it's for the few, the ones ready to rewire themselves from the inside out. Not for validation, not for comfort, but for control. Let's begin. You were taught to express yourself, to share your truth, but they never told you the cost. Every tear, every rant, every outburst, you gave away your script. You revealed your programming, and the ones who study human weakness, they took notes. You think you're being authentic. They see an instruction manual. Men today confuse vulnerability with value. They cry on camera, confess their wounds, post their heartbreak. Then they wonder why they're disrespected, discarded, laughed at. Because once they know what breaks you, they know how to break you. Power doesn't announce itself. It observes, it restrains, it waits. Control is not loud. Control is unreadable. You want to be feared? Stop being predictable. You've been sold a lie. That being open makes you brave. That being real builds connection. Here's what they didn't say. The more they know you, the easier it is to use you. You open up, they analyze, you reveal pain, they remember. You explain your triggers, they push them with precision, but what they can't see, they can't control. The Machiavellian mind holds its truth in shadows, because power doesn't need sympathy, it needs leverage. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Let them try to decode your silence, because mystery creates gravity, and the man they can't read becomes the man they obsess over. Make them uncertain. Uncertainty breeds caution. Caution gives you space, and in that space, you take control. The loudest man in the room is rarely the strongest. He's just the most exposed. While they're posting, ranting, oversharing, you say nothing. Not because you're weak, but because you're calculating. Silence is not passive. Silence is pressure. You don't speak to be heard. You speak to shift the frame. You speak to bend perception. And when words are rare, every word becomes a weapon. Let them fill the silence. Let them guess your thoughts, your plans, your intent. You're not passive, you're patient, you're dangerous. A man who can remain calm in chaos doesn't lack emotion. He simply mastered it. And that mastery terrifies people because it means you're no longer reacting. You're controlling the game. The world doesn't run on truth. It runs on perception. You think the best man wins? Number the most strategic man wins. The man who controls the story, even if it's a lie. You don't need to be understood. You need to be believed in the way you choose. Craft your image. Build it in silence. Feed it with mystery. Starve it of explanation. Let them fill in the blanks with their own fear. Let their imagination work against them. Because once they create their own version of you, you own their attention. And once you own attention, you own power. Never explain, never defend. Let your reputation enter the room before you do, and let it whisper things you're too controlled to say aloud. Weak men leave with words. Strong men leave with silence. You think walking away means defeat. It doesn't. It means leverage. Every exit should feel intentional. No explanation, no warning, no closure, just absence. And absence, when done right, is a weapon. Let them wonder where you went. Let them spiral over why. Power doesn't cling, power withdraws. She won't remember the man who begged to stay. She'll remember the man who vanished without looking back. That silence, it echoes, it haunts. Because presence may impress, but loss dominates memory. Master the art of disappearing, not out of fear, out of control. They told you to share your journey, to prove your healing, to post every milestone. Why? Because if they can watch you evolve, they can measure your power. Don't let them. True evolution is invisible. You don't post your next move. You become your next move. Growth in silence feels threatening to the world, because when you return a different, sharper, colder, richer, they have no blueprint to follow. You didn't warn them. You just arrived, changed. While they're documenting their hustle for likes, you're building in the dark. While they're searching for applause, you're stacking silence into strategy. Let them talk. Let them scroll. Your life isn't content. It's a weapon. And when you show up again, show up as something unrecognizable. That's how you haunt people. Not with words, with what you've become. At the core of every powerful man is not charm, not money, not manipulation. It's self-control. You want to influence others? Begin by mastering yourself. Control your emotions, not suppress, master. Know what triggers you and decide when to respond or if it's even worth it. Control your time. Control your energy. Control your impulses. You can't dominate the external world until you own your internal one. That's the real Machiavellian lesson. Not deception, but domination. Starting within. Most men are slaves. Slaves to anger, slaves to lust, slaves to attention, slaves to emotion. But the man who watches his own mind like a weapon, he bends the world to his will without lifting a finger. You have two paths. Be emotionally legible, easy to read, easy to play, or be emotionally feared, a mystery with presence, a storm behind calm eyes. If you made it here, you already feel it. You're shifting. Something in you is cracking open. This wasn't just a video, it was a mirror. And now that you've seen the truth, you can't go back. The world won't understand the new you. Let them guess. Let them gossip. Let them regret ever thinking you were soft. This is your rebirth. Your silence is your armor. Your control is your rebellion. And your evolution, it's your revenge. You are not here to be known. You are here to be felt, feared, and never forgotten. This is not inspiration, it's warfare. And the most dangerous weapon in it is your mind. Remember that. If you've made it this far, you're not just scrolling, you're searching for something deeper. Thanks for trusting me with your mind. If this spoke to you, like the video, hit subscribe and share it with someone who needs to reclaim their power. Until next time, stay sharp and think deeper.